For our next guest, I'm a little worried because I think this guy might be after my job. His name is Kevin Townsend. He's a city councillor in St. Catharines. He's been hosting an Instagram show that is catching on, and he's doing a lot of interviews, doing a lot of what I do here. Kevin, first, right off the bat, you after my job here?
No, Mike, your job is safe. I enjoy tuning into Cogeco and watching you do your thing. So your job is safe, not coming after your job.
Tell me how this came about during COVID-19 that you decided you were going to host a program on Instagram.
Honestly, the way it happened is I had a few of my friends from Montreal and Ontario. We just decided let's do a talent show amongst us. And while doing it on live, people started reaching out asking if, can I come on? Can I do something? And, before we know it, I would have 10 to 12 people on a regular night. And shows would run for like 2-3 hours. And it was getting to be a little bit much. So it just, I kept spreading people out over the duration. And then my friends and we just said, why not? Like, who else might want to come on? Let's reach out to some people, some friends of ours who have gone on to do some big things. And then we would just send a text message to one person or maybe someone who represents talent. Hey, do you have any talent that you might want to showcase? And then the ball just kept growing and growing. And it's escalated to a point of having some really outstanding guests on.
It's almost hearkening back to the 70s, the old variety shows, Carol Burnett, Sonny and Cher, all of that. So you have some people on displaying talents that maybe they're not really known for.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I had Paralympian athlete Kevin Rempel come on. He's known for sledge hockey, and he came on and he did some juggling, which was pretty cool. And I mean, we had Councillor Carrie Porter came on. I had no idea that Carrie played the guitar and could sing. Not a lot of people in the community would know that. So it's kind of brought out and shined a light on other people who might not be known for one thing, but showed, hey, we do other things as opposed to just our regular day jobs.
Kevin, who are some of the other local guests that have really surprised you with their talents?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Jessica Wilson, who is a local performer, outstanding musician as well. We've had on Haley Bateman came on, who's a local resident and played the ukulele and sang, and she did an outstanding job. That night was very unique because I did it as we had a surprise guest that joined us, and they didn't advertise. And we had Tim Hicks come on and talk about his tour being delayed, and then he performed his new single, which was really fun. And that was, I think, the moment, Mike, where people were like, "Oh, this is really cool," because I was having surprise guests coming on. And then what I ended up doing was I started just putting out the lineup to people so they could see who was coming on. And yeah, I think that there was a bit of that surprise element that really captivated and brought people in. Back to your question was, who was my most surprised guest? I think Mayor Sendzik was surprised when he came on because we did a little digging down in City Count and City Hall archives, and we found a video proof that even though he says he doesn't have talent, there was a video that I found of him singing and dancing. And if you go and watch the interview that I had with him, you'll see that even he was quite surprised with the archive video that we had found. So that was good fun that we had. I mean, I'm sitting at probably over 110 interviews now. So it's hard to pick just one that stands out. But those are a few, I think, of my favorites.
You also expanded beyond Niagara, and you've been able to connect through some connections you have with your previous studies at Sheridan College. Who are some of those guests from around Canada that you've brought in?
Yeah, so we had Nick Murillo come on, and he just finished touring on the Broadway tour of Memphis. He was doing a tour out in the premiere out in Australia, and he had come back home because of all this. And I reached out to him and just said, hey, Nick, come on, do you want to come on and do this? And he said, yeah, like these are people that are at home that are still looking for ways to entertain and do what they do, right? So he's been really good to have on. Reached out to Colin Mockery, was a lot of fun to have on. We did a little improv, and I mean, he's always a good person to help put a smile on people's faces. I also reached out to some people from America's Got Talent. What a lot of people don't realize is there are also a lot of Canadians that go in and do very well in America's Got Talent. So, you know, I had some musicians and magicians. So Ben Seidman jumped on with me. I had Stephen Brundage, who did very well at America's Got Talent. They're both American. But Wes Barker was really good. He's a Canadian. He's originally from the West Coast, but now he's in Toronto, and he came on and did some magic with me, which was it was really cool just to see some of these tricks. And he was a great interview as well. Just a class act, and again, very entertaining.
Kevin, thanks for keeping us entertained during the COVID-19 pandemic. How can we see your next show?
Yeah, so next show is going tonight. It's going to be Monday to Friday, 8 till 9. You're going to see some Broadway stars coming from based in New York who are currently on Broadway. So tune in this week, Monday to Friday, 8 till 9 p.m.
And that's at K Townsend?
At Kevin Townsend, STC on Instagram.
Perfect. Thanks for joining us today, Kevin.
Thanks for having me, Mike.